I'm joined now by one of the top matric achievers, Sazi Bongwe, St. John's College Matriculant and former head boy who has an average of 95.9% and 9 distinctions. He's on his way to Harvard University in August this year. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me.
I was so excited to have you in studio this afternoon just to chat with you, and I was saying to the team, please make sure he comes in and he wears his blazer so we can see all the colors. But it doesn't work like that. We'll get into that in a moment. Firstly, it's been quite a tumultuous 2 years. How are you feeling?
I'm exhausted. But yeah, no, I think a lot of hard work through, quite a lot of strife and challenges and obstacles. So, I mean, to be at this point, a point where I was imagining and sort of saying, can I get there for the whole 2 years? I mean, to be here right now is, a relief beyond measure. So I'm just so excited, so relieved. And yeah, definitely looking forward now, which is a nice thing to be able to do.
Right, and you're heading over to Harvard University. Tell us about that, because you're going to be spending 2 years trying to figure out what exactly it is you want to do.
Yeah, so I think that's probably one of the reasons why I did look towards the US system, and particularly Harvard, because I think I'm at this stage in my life where I have a few strong opinions and ideas about what I'd want to do, but I also know that those are subject to change, and I feel that I have these sort of passions that are almost on the side to things that I typically see myself working as, and this opportunity to just integrate those into different things and pursue both passion and vocation, it's just the best thing for me, and I'm really looking forward to it. And who knows, maybe I end up doing something I never would have even imagined. So those possibilities are so exciting to me.
What are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about different things. I think this year, and I think partly COVID and being at home has opened me up to many more things. I'm definitely passionate about the written word, and I've gotten into that more and more, whether it's writing myself when I feel my opinion can be valuable, but definitely reading a lot and getting into that. I'm passionate about media, and I think all of these things I'm viewing from this lens of obviously trying to create some positive change and societal change, and looking at that. So I'm super interested in how you can look at different media that you typically view in a creative light, and using that for, and like ultimately net positive, and that's a really interesting idea to me. So I think many things sort of fall into that, and I pull things from different areas.
Right. Let's talk about your interest in the written word, right? So some of your subjects include dramatic arts, English, history, isiZulu, life orientation, mathematics, physical science, advanced program mathematics, and advanced program English, securing 9 distinctions. Again, congratulations. Let's talk about history. And would you say that is tied, or that has resulted in this love of the written word? If so, what particular subject are you really looking into?
Yeah, so I mean, this is all problematic because I had big problems with my handwriting. So me choosing all these writing-based subjects and then having iffy handwriting that I was called out on many times wasn't the best, but
doctors have been called out so many times. Apparently you can't even make out what they say, but hey, they're doctors.
Yeah, so I mean, history was big, and I think diving into that content was so transformative for me, and especially we had this opportunity to do something called an ORT, where you're doing your own research task, and I really loved that. I mean, I ended up with like a 20-page document of just this pure interesting. I was looking at sort of like root causes of mass incarceration in America, and like tracing that through like documents, and that was just the biggest experience. And I mean, even though this was an academic thing I had to pursue, it was still just super interesting for me, and I think that sort of fed into AP English, Advanced Program English, which became really, I don't know, I don't want to offend anyone and say favorites, but it became a really interesting and different subject for me, particularly because one of the essays was based on 4 novels that you chose and read yourself. And so these 4 novels are still some of my favorite novels, and so reading them, but also then writing about them, and sort of gaining my perspective and putting that onto the page, that was also just the best. So yeah, I think definitely the school experience, especially these 2 subjects, have facilitated this broader, impulsive mind.
You speak of the school experience and facilitating this broader, impulsive mind. You're also quite keen on the media space, and you talk about wanting to put forward a positive change. You're working on a website, which is quite impressive. Alongside trying to get through matric, here you are, you and a couple of friends doing this website. Tell us about that and why that was important for you to do and the kind of work that you feature.
Yeah, and it actually became quite complementary to my matric syllabus, and even before that, I've been in grade 11, where I had all these academic requirements, and yeah, some of it was interesting, but some of it was also quite onerous, and you sort of get bogged down in things, and you say, why am I doing this? And writing for Iguzaguza, which is the website, became this kind of outlet where, even though I'm doing things that are like typically productive, still I was pursuing like purely interesting things. I was thinking up stories and getting into like researching and putting those onto words. So it really became this space where I didn't have to be like a matric student or like the head of school. I was just myself with my ideas that I thought were worth sharing. So yeah, and I think obviously outside of me, I was working with 3 friends of mine, Eli, Joseph, and Ruby. And I think we started this website for many reasons. One was just to sort of have a space where young people who are feeling quite like alienated at the time could come together and connect. But also we know that June 2020 was a very like tumultuous social time. I mean, it was just post the death of George Floyd. And so all those things coming together, really, we were able to build a space where people were not only commenting but expressing themselves. And we were looking at so many different ideas through so many different lenses that really, I mean, now, almost 2 years later, we've got this catalog that just speaks to so many different issues. And I think it's something we're very proud of, this idea that we have so many different perspectives on issues that are genuinely important and worth sharing. So yeah, I think it's been the biggest tool for me, and again, it's enabled so much of what I want to go and do further.
You should be proud. I'm proud of you.
Thank you very
and
much.
I can only imagine what your parents are feeling at this moment. What do you want to say to your parents, and what do you want to say to your siblings? I understand you've got a sister and you've got a brother.
Yeah, so I mean, I have gratitude beyond what I can express to my parents. I think their sacrifices, I mean, as much as Harvard was my goal, it was equally their dream, and that's how they pursued it. And I mean, obviously there are many financial things that come into this, and they made sure that that was always a thing, and really investing into my education. But I mean, my mom was really like, she was not only my biggest cheerleader throughout the application process, but also she was right there with me. Like, if I had like a tag team partner, it was her. And so we sort of worked through so much of this together. And really, there's a video of us opening the application. My mom and dad are right there behind me, and I think that perfectly sums it up. This was our thing, and they invested in my education, and I'm so grateful to be able to repay that. I mean, equally, my sister, same thing, and she's at Georgetown right now, absolutely loving it, and she's graduating her master's in May, and so much of that has been enabled through my parents' visions, and I know that my brother coming after, he'll do his own impressive and really cool things on his own. So yeah, I think we're a super motivated but also passionate family, and that comes from my parents.
I can tell. Congratulations, a big, big congratulations. So proud of you. I can't wait to see what you do in the next couple of years.
Thank you so much.
And that was Harvard University candidate. He's going in August, Sazi Bongwe, achieving 95.9% average and 9 distinctions. Bluetooth high five.